Rare Music exclusive.
I grew up like a savage.
It's about brotherhood. It's about, you know what I'm saying, taking care of your families and lifting each other up. And
Facts.
Man, come on. that's
Did any of this change your old friendships and relationships?
Nah, because by the time
Not the incidents, but you where you are, and because of who you've become.
Well, a lot of it has changed people's perception. So I can't do the same shit that I used to do at certain times. You know what I'm saying? So back in the day, even if I'm being funny, if I'm being funny with somebody and we talking shit, it's gonna be taken a little more personal.
Now it's, this nigga think he.
Yeah. So it's all of that attachment. So now if I don't show up to a birthday party, it's because he Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of that type stuff going on. So it do change the dynamic. But I think as you get older and you grow, I think, you know what I'm saying, that changes anyway.
I was about to ask you that. Is it okay for shit to change?
Absolutely.
And when I say that, I mean as far as like, is it okay for shit to change with friends, with family, with anybody for that matter? Is it okay for shit to change? Because I find that people like remember when we was 10 years old and we used to walk to the Malibu and we was best friends, and now you be acting like, but
you know one thing I learned, and first off, change has to happen. That's just the natural course. That's just life. Change happens, right? Your features change,
right.
Your weight change,
right?
Everything change, all that change. Life changes. Girl, you get taller, But what I noticed is that when this is why I hated when Drake dropped that song. To me, that was the dumbest song ever. No New Friends. It slapped, but it was just a dumb concept, in my opinion. Because when we was coming up, a lot of our friendships that we call like our day ones, a lot of them was relationships by default. You know what I'm saying? Geographical. Whether we went to school together, whether we lived next door to one another, and so it was like relationships by default. But once you get old, the crazy part is once you get older, there are no default relationships. You handpicking everybody. So everybody that's around you, you literally handpick. And it's a lot of cats that you grew up with that just happen to live next door with you or share the same class with you or have something in common with you that you wouldn't necessarily today. You would never. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like what if something, we from the neighborhood and you remember Lucky's on MacArthur,
right?
When you used to could push the cart in and get 25 cents. What if I met you every day up there at 10 o'clock and we did that till 3 o'clock over the summer? Right. But that's all we did. I hoop, you don't hoop. You cut hair, I don't. Right. Like some of these things are circumstantial and geographically.
You'll notice the day you stop playing video games, that video game friend y'all kind of went. You know what I'm saying? Or the day you stop chiefing, you know what I'm saying?
Like all we used to do is smoke.
All we used to do is smoke, or the dude who, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's just, to me, that's just the natural progression of life. But then I also feel like it's, exposure. Once you get exposed to more things, sometimes you come back and the conversations ain't the same. I've been lucky because, a lot of the dudes that I grew up with, you know what I'm saying, for the most part, but that I really started hanging with from like high school, junior high school to high school, you know what I'm saying? We all kind of stayed on the same trajectory, so we still kind of, all solid. We don't talk all the time, but we all still solid. But everybody still respect everybody movement and what everybody got going on. But I won't sit there and say those is all still default relationships. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you didn't have no choice but to kick it with the people who lived in the same building as you. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you from the hood, you had to. Your mama wasn't letting you leave too far from the block, so you had to kick it. If you didn't kick it with your neighbor or the people on the same street as you, and y'all wasn't, then you wasn't kicking it with nobody. Who was you kicking it with?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You wasn't staying on 35th, unless you wasn't staying on 35th going to kick it with nobody from the 60s or the 70s or the DB, unless you had a relative that lived over there, like I did.
Mm-hmm.
My auntie lived on 9-8, so that's why all people ask me. I always say I'm from 35th and I'm from 9-8 because I used to spend so much time on 9-8.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? 98 taught me a lot. You know what I'm saying? But you wasn't just doing that. What you was gonna ride your bike over there, catch
Yeah,
the bus, and
yeah.
go kick it? You was kicking it with the dudes in your neighborhood.
That's a
what
fact.
it was.
That's a fact.
So,
When you think about the opportunities that I don't even want to say has been given to you because it's like things that you've earned, right? It's the
Right.
relationships you built. It's
Right.
how you've done it through your work.
Right.
You didn't go begging and sitting around trying to hang up under somebody to do something the entire time.
No.
You was working, and then you built relationships.
Right.
So when opportunities like things like the shop happen, right? Because people see these pictures, right? They might look at your Instagram and they see you dapping up LeBron,
right.
right? But you're actually an employee of his company, right?
All right.
And a contracted person through the company, right? But I look at it like this. When I look at those pictures and I look at times like this, like even something as simple as us doing this interview and where we doing the interview at,
Right.
right? If you thought about yourself when we was young and somebody said, oh, you're gonna go interview somebody at Michael Jordan's crib, or you're
Right.
gonna go to Michael Jordan's crib
Right.
on Sundays and y'all gonna kick it and watch the game, or you gonna go to Cancun with Jordan, Pippen, and Michael Jordan. You've been in this situation with the modern stars,
Right.
right? Like, how is that for you? And do you take those moments for granted because you living in it? So
Right.
sometimes I even remind you, or
Right.
any of my friends, for whatever they doing, like take a second off, take a date off, and just think about where you at. Like,
Right. I think that's one of the hardest parts of it is like sometimes stepping back and be like, oh, okay, yeah. This is some dope shit.
It's some dope
You know
shit.
what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
pretty rare air, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, type shit. But to me, I feel like if you spend too much time in that space, you know what I'm saying, I think you'll start to like decline. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or whatever.
but you only need an hour or two a day, maybe
Right.
max, to reflect. As far as what I'm saying, because
Right. I've been in some pinch myself moments. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like shit. Like, fuck, how we get here? You know what I'm saying? And just to be be transparent. Like, nigga, you got Drake crib. You know what I'm saying? How often do it? You know what I'm saying? Nigga from East Oakland end up all the way in Toronto, and you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Vibing. And so I do have those moments, but I think I was just kind of like primed. Everything was like added on to me, you know what I'm saying, as I was ready for it. You know what I'm saying? So I've never, because if you can't handle these them environments, you won't be in it, you know, too long, and not everybody.
it's weird because I always think about it like, as much as I love people who I grew up with, it's nothing that I could do to prep them for a situation like that, right? There's nothing I could do to put them in a moment and they're gonna behave like me. And then I start thinking about, was this shit already in me when I was young?
Right.
Like, because then when you think about it, you think about the way you handling this shit, right?
Right.
And you like, nah, I never acted out. I never been irrational. It's like I'm supposed to be here. Like, I've been this nigga. I was just on Bartlett. Or I was just on 98. I don't.
Right. And some people be like, I don't get. Some people say, oh, I don't get. They don't get starstruck. Yeah, it's like one extreme to another. To me, it's disrespectful for somebody to like when people be like, nah, I don't care about. Like, no, people want to be acknowledged for their accomplishments. It's kind of hating if you know.
It's not kinda. It is hating.
When somebody has accomplished some exceptional things. And you just act like it don't exist. Like, who do that? Like, that ain't cool either.
That ain't
You know what I'm
cool
saying?
either,
So
yeah.
I think people have time. Like, so you either had a dude that's ready to, do the, remember the video they posted with Drake and the dude was doing backflips.
And he fell on his shit.
Try to show off.
Right.
You either got that nigga,
Right.
or you got the nigga that's too cool trying to
Right.
act like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know. So it's a thin line between being a group, being dick riding, and just being like, nah. I was like, man, he's like, it's cool to like salute. He's like, nigga,
Facts.
hats off to you, King. It's cool to
Facts.
do that. It ain't. But cats, you know what I'm saying, be in their mind, it's like they don't know how to balance that. They just, but it always go back to one thing. Just be who you is.
Be who you is.
If you be yourself and you don't make it a guessing game, everything works out.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is when people are not like when they're trying to figure out how to be, just be yourself. Because if you corny, then people gonna just accept you for being corny, and they not even mad at it. You can kick it. You can be because we know who
You just a corny.
You just a corny thing. And we respect you for being you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you're a corny nigga and you trying to be extra cool, and you trying to do too, and you're trying to fit in with too many circles, that's when like, you gotta be over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, but the key to it all is just being you. I don't understand. That's the I be tripping on that sometimes. I be like, man, that's the easiest thing in the world to be, because you are it already. It's
right,
organic,
you already
naturally.
Yeah.
Why? But it's the hardest thing for people to just be yourself.
Shit is weird, bro.
That shit weird as fuck.
Working on a shop, I know that's a different environment because you seeing production and TV production at its highest level and highest form, as far as like the conversation is high level, first of all.
Yeah.
The production is also awesome because it took something that we do anyway in our natural environments in barbershops,
Right.
and have high level conversations.
Right.
What is that like? Because it's like you there, and then it's like you really get to observe because we're going to get to the lineup, right? So, but I want to get to the shop first. When you're there and you're observing, first of all, are you fucking cutting hair? Everybody want to know, are you cutting? Because it looked like you on there tapping. Like
we definitely cut hair. But what I will say is because it is show business, it is entertainment, it is a show. Cameras have angles, and you can't like.
Can't just stand in front of a nigga and line him up.
We gotta do some shit. So we do light shit. We do the things that we can work around the cameras with, and then before or after we done, then.
So if somebody want a full cut, they can get hit up, and then you could do the little shit.
We started when during season 1, I think it was, or season 2, we were doing like full cuts on camera, and it just wasn't conducive to filming.
Mm-hmm.
So then we got to touch ups and shit like that. But clippers really come on, hair really comes off. It ain't no. You know what I'm saying? Are we diving in and doing, you know what I'm saying? And is it a bunch of hair falling on the floor? Is we cutting people braids off on? Nah, because it's not conducive to the conversation. We trying to hear what they got to say, and we ain't trying to hear clippers buzzing and all that. So it's a lot of things that go into productions that people don't understand. I've learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Matt Carter and Paul Revere and LeBron James and everybody over there at Uninterrupted in Spring Hill. I've learned a lot because I'm the dude when I'm on set. I'm a sponge, man. I'm talking to everybody, from the cameraman to the, you know what I'm saying, to the security, to the line producers, to I'm like, and I'm soaking up game, and I'm picking up, and I'm all that. I've always been that, you know what I'm saying? Always been that way. Even when it comes to a part where you consider somewhat a talent, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still there, like, you know, I'm a blue collar nigga by, you know what I'm saying, by nature, you know what I'm saying? And when I show up with a lunch pail, you feel me?
Yeah.
And so I just want to, you know, soak up as much game, build as many relationships as possible, because shit don't last forever, you know what I'm saying?
When they asked you to do the lineup, which is an extension of the shop, it was like even more extra conversations.
Right.
And I really respect it because although the show was canceled, I don't feel like they shorted you at all with your guests and shit.
Well, it wasn't canceled. It was what it was. It was one season of a 6 episode of some shoulder content. So it wasn't like there was.
It
like
wasn't to be continued.
It wasn't that.
It was a one-off.
It did what it was supposed to do. It was one, you know.
And I feel like they still gave you the great guests. Like you guys had great guests on there. Who was some of the guests?
I learned a lot. We had LMA was one of the guests. We had John Wall. We had a few people. I'm just drawing a blank.
It was a
right
soccer
now.
player too, right?
It's a tennis player.
Yeah.
Sloane Stevens. I'm sorry, I feel disrespectful. Sloane
Yeah.
Stevens.
Shout out to Sloane.
Yeah, but you know, had a few guests on there.
Yeah, that was dope. And how did you like it? Because this time you went from behind the cameras to in front.
Well, everything kind of took. It was a great experience. I learned so much about what goes into whether it's podcasting, interviewing. I learned so much about big productions like that. You know what I'm saying? Big budget productions. I learned so much about what goes into those things, and a lot of people don't. They think it's real. I got an earpiece in, so I'm listening to. You know what I'm saying? When I'm trying to, and it's difficult. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? So I actually, when I got done with that, I actually had a different level of respect for people who, you know what I'm saying,
who do this
well, even yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because and I think the podcast that I've had, you know what I'm saying, I'm a podcaster too, but I think that prepared me for those opportunities, and I think people paying attention to the things that I got going on prepared me for those opportunities. But what I understood, it taught me a lot. I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? I grew from that. I got better from that. You know what I'm saying? And man, it was crazy appreciative opportunity. Still am. You know what I'm saying?
When you had the show with Shayla, your podcast,
right?
One Against the Grain. Mm-hmm. All your shit is barber themed. Now that I'm thinking about it,
kind of got a little.
Yeah, but Shayla actually probably had a One Against the Grain at that time. You know what I'm saying?
She had short hair, a little bob or something.
Oh, she had a little bob or something.
So.
Yeah, I've seen it. Oh, now she got the hair all off now.
Right.
Yeah. With that, the show with Riff, where is Blendz at with media now? And like, are you jumping back in the game, or what are you gonna do right with that?
I kind of go off of feel. You know what I'm saying? I kind of do a lot off of feel. I don't really force much. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a feel thing. And when I feel the momentum shifting or going, you know what I'm saying, a different direction, I kind of go with the. You know, but a lot of it is feel, kind of where my heart at. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm really feeling at the moment. I love podcasting. I want to get back to it. I wasn't prepared for all the work. That a lot of work goes in, a lot of preparation, and when I was doing it heavy, I overestimated the idea of the time that I had to, you know what I'm saying, contribute to that. But eventually, I'm gonna get back to it for sure.
Stay on blue.
I'm just trying to stay racked up like you.
Put an 8 in a 1 and do magic. Tryna stretch hair on like elastic. Eco-friendly drug dealer, I don't waste no plastic. Use all 4 corners of that baggie. All I ever wanted was a bankroll. So I pull up on Champ before the bank close. Say no to stank hoes and stank clothes. No paramedic pimpin', nigga, we don't save hoes. Yeah, rest in peace to Lil